Hey everyone, welcome to another $1,000 strap search. I've got my $1,000 in singles here and I'm about to show you what I found. But before I do, let's talk about this week's tip. Now, this really surprises me because when you compare currency to coins you would think are much more difficult to produce. You have to have the planchet, you have to have the die. There is so much more to it. But yet you're always hearing about counterfeit coins, and you never really hear about counterfeit notes. Now, yeah, there have been, historically many instances of counterfeit notes. Most people are afraid to buy Confederate currency because the United States counterfeited a bunch of Confederate notes to try to destabilize their money. And without knowing enough about those notes, it's very difficult to tell which ones are the counterfeits and which ones are real. But what you don't see is a lot of random notes being counterfeited. And it makes me wonder because, well, on our initial notes, you would have the phrase "to counterfeit is death." I don't know how intimidating that was because like I said, you find so many counterfeit coins, but maybe there's a difference between counterfeiting a coin and counterfeiting a note. So maybe it's just that fear factor that people are afraid to get caught counterfeiting currency compared to counterfeiting coins. But that's not to say it doesn't happen. You still have to be aware of certain things. Don't necessarily take everything with a grain of salt. Just take a close look and be safe about it. A little later on, I'm going to show you some interesting stuff that I ran across, and we'll take it from there. All right, so I've got my 1,000. Let's get these out of the way. Let's take a look at what I found this week. Always interested when people put notes on money. I always just find that amazing because it's a little bit into people's lives. Somebody call me and put their phone number on here, and I'm sure this was destined for a waitress or a waiter. And let's see, next note has a stamp on it. Get a dance from Bailey. Enough said. Not gonna go any further with that. Let's just see if there's anything else on the back. Nope. But anyway, Bailey, here's your free advertisement. Found some trinaries. This has got 5 ones on it. That's pretty neat. You've got 1s, 5s, and 7s on this one. Another trinary here, 0s, 4s, and 8s. This one has 1s, 4s, and 5s. This one is 4s, 5s, and 6s. It's kind of just neat. 4, 6, 6, 5, 4, 5, 5, 4. So yeah, kind of interesting. Well, still a trinary. Doesn't really matter. 0s, 6s, and 8s. Now this is also a downward ladder, a broken downward ladder. You've got the numbers in order, 8, 6, 0 as far as their ranking, so it's descending order, and they're all together. All the 8s are here, the 6s are here, the 0s are here. Now, I don't save notes because of this particular fact. I'm saving this because it is a trinary, 0s, 6s, and 8s, but I figured I'd point that out anyway. When people talk about broken ladders, that's what they're referring to. A ladder because they're going the same direction, and it's broken because you're missing numbers in between. Next up is another trinary, 2s, 3s, and 6s. And this one's a little older, 2006, but it's quads, quad 2s. This one's quad 7s on a 2009. Quad 8s. Quad 9s. And some stars. Really nice star here. 2017A. A 2017 star. Don't forget, check to see if you've got a filled star. 2017, this one's nice because it starts with a couple zeros. So if you're reading that as a number, that's 189,000, which is fairly low. I mean, generally you want to see a 3-digit number, not a 6-digit number. But what I'm saying for low is, if this had I haven't checked the print run, and I will check the print runs all together. You guys see me do that. But if a note is of a print run of 300,000, well, then you want to see a number that's below 300,000. So that's why I like pointing out the lower numbered notes like this, because you are that much closer to finding something that's a little bit rare. All right, another 2017. You see this number is a little bit higher. 2017, real nice shape on this one. Once again, that's 207,000, so fairly low. 2013, 2013B, but I think that's too high of a number to be in the duplicate range. 2013, oh, this one's got something sticky on it right there. You can see the glistening. Don't want to know. Another 2013 star, and some older notes. 2001 in pretty good shape. 1999, not so much, pretty rough. Another 99, also pretty rough shape, really limp, really limp. Let's see, 1995, not a web note. Another 1995, also not a web note. You can see the location here. You can see all the other information here. If it just has one little number here, that would be a plate number, and then it wouldn't have the rest of it. That would be a web note. 1988A, also not a web note. And the oldest note, another 1988A from Fort Worth. So nope, not a web note. All right, so that's what I found this week. What did I pull out? Well, I really am not a fan of showing you guys notes that I don't have. But I did get an email, and the email was rather important, I thought. So I decided that this is what I was going to highlight this week. Let's see if I can't get this in here. All right, let me just move this like this. Try to turn this here. And maybe I can zoom it in just a touch. There we go. All right, this is fascinating. Somebody wrote to me and said, was there ever in circulation a 1934 $100 silver certificate? Wondering if this was real and apparently found in a cave overseas by some treasure hunters. Well, the easy question, or the easy answer to that is no. They never made small size silver certificates with a larger denomination of 10. 10 was the largest small size silver certificate you can get. But this was the picture of the note that they sent. So let's take a quick peek at this here. And I find it very interesting to see stuff. I'm going to just get my camera just about right, and maybe I can zoom in just a little bit to make it a little bigger for you. Okay, so there. Let's see if we can get that. Okay, now what am I seeing in here? Well, first and foremost, I know it's counterfeit because these notes did not exist. They did not make $100 silver certificates in the small size note. Okay, so right off the bat, I know this is not real. What are some of the other giveaways? Well, let's start with the fact that it says silver certificate across the top. You can read, sort of, as the camera is drooping on me here, you can read silver certificate right there on the top. So if it's a silver certificate, why does it have a Federal Reserve seal? The Federal Reserve on a Federal Reserve note says which Federal Reserve is backing this note. Silver certificates are backed by the Treasury, not by Federal Reserve banks. Silver certificates were backed by silver. So now let's take a look at some other stuff. Basically, look here where it says 100. Okay, this is real. That's the way that it should look on a note. But look at what it says above it. In silver, payable to the bearer on demand. Do you see the difference? How in silver has a gray look to it, where this is bright white? Okay, that to me is very reminiscent of the fantasy notes, where you get a real $1 bill and they simply print the picture of Santa Claus or Elvis over the center. You're going to get that grayish look to it. Okay, so this says in silver in silver, payable to the bearer on demand. That's what that says there. But like I said, you can clearly see the gray texture versus the white texture. And if I bump this up, look at the top where it says silver certificate as well. You have the exact same thing. You have this gray lettering in silver certificate, which stands out compared to the white right next to it. But of course, on regular notes, let's see if I can reach one of these here. Here's a regular note. You can see where it says Federal Reserve, how that's written all in white. And the F in Federal matches the whiteness of that little line right next to it, right here. This line here and the white inside the lettering, that's the same. Whereas when we look at this, you can see the gray versus these letters. And let me just bump this up to the top. Once again, you see the gray, and this just looks bright white right here compared to the lettering. That should all be the same color. So to me, this looks like someone took a 1934, there it is, Series 1934 $100 bill, and printed this and this. Now, the other interesting part of this is the serial number in and of itself, because it's clearly from the Federal Reserve in Chicago, and the serial number matches. You've got G here, G here. It is a low number, 1925, but the thing is that they also did the coloring correctly, which wouldn't be hard to do. I mean, especially if you had a light green note, converting that to a blue. If you can print this, you can print this and put it over there. So that's not a major feat, but the fact that they did it is pretty cool. Now, let me find this here. Okay, here's another picture that this person sent me. And this is how these people are trying to pawn these off as real. You see, you've got, a strap, let's see, that says Wells Fargo here. I am not aware of what the straps actually looked like for silver certificates back in the day, so I can't verify whether that's real or not, but it wouldn't surprise me if they did do some historical work to find that and try to make it the way it is. But look at the serial number here. 00001000. Imagine the value on that note for you fancy serial number collectors. It's a true binary, 7 of a kind, note number 1000. Yeah, that would be a very cool note in and of itself. But like I said, they're not real. That's the part that really bugs me. And what also worries me is the number of them. There's so many that they've got here. And if you look, every single one where it says silver certificate, I mean, here's the example right here. See where it says $100? Look at how bright white that is in comparison to everything that says silver certificate. That's the color it should be. And if you look right next to it, once again, 100 is white, just like 100 is white, but right here is payable on demand is dark gray. That's not how it would look. That's exactly how it looks on the notes that I run through a printer. Like I said, the color of the seal and the color of the serial numbers, that does look right. But let's face it, this note never existed, so it is certainly not real. So that's what I've got for you guys this week. An obvious fake to me, but yeah, be aware of certain things like this. You don't need a book to make some of these determinations. Like I said, Federal Reserve seal on a silver certificate. There's the giveaway. All right, that's what I got for you guys this week. If you learned anything new, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. I love reading all your comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.